Okay. Let the day loosen its hold on you and your shoulders drop. Let your breath lengthen. Over the year, we have traveled together around the sun and the great circle of the 5 elements, each season offering its own medicine and its own way of shaping us. Last autumn, we learned the art of letting go and the grace of gathering in, keeping close to our hearts what is most precious. In the stillness of winter, we sank deep into the blueprint of our being, into the dark and fertile mystery where potentials sleep, waiting for the right moment to stir. In spring, we brought those potentials to light, planting them, tending them, letting them stretch toward the sun. In summer, we stood with the full flowering of what had come into being, radiant and alive, and celebrating all that was in bloom. And now we find ourselves in the autumn once again, a season of harvest, a season of release and return. This year's growth has ripened. Some things are complete and ready to return to the earth. Others are stored as precious seeds, the sweetness, the essence, distilled from all we have lived and learned. Today we will journey to the spirit of metal, the one who receives what has lost the radiance of summer and transforms it to its purest form, and returns to us the gift that will nourish the next season of our life. Let the outside world fall away and open the inner door to this journey. We'll begin with a few floss breaths, inhaling gently through the nose, drawing up the emerald green light of the earth through the soles of your feet, legs, belly, heart, crown, all the way to the stars. Exhaling long, slow, crystalline, gold and silver light streaming down from sun and stars through your crown, heart, belly, and deep into the earth. Inhale the emerald rising, exhale the crystalline descending, heaven and earth flowing through you. You are the meeting point of the two, the mediator of heaven and earth. Find yourself walking into a forest at the height of autumn. The air is cool, edged with sweetness of ripened fruit and the faint smoke of a distant fire. And above you, the canopy blazes with gold and copper and crimson and patches of cerulean blue in perfect contrast. The sunlight filters through in shifting dappled patches, painting your skin in warm tones. And every step is a crunch of the leaves and seed pods on the forest floor, soft with years of decay, feeding the roots underfoot. The forest holds a hush and a knowing. This is a place where the season exhales, where the bright colors and frilly forms of summer let go. The forest is relatively quiet now, as many of the birds are getting ready for their journey south. But somewhere in the distance, a chickadee who will remain with you through the winter calls, its voice rising and falling like a farewell to its friends. Ahead, a figure awaits. They may be a human, animal, or something more magical, like someone from an old story. And they greet you with the familiarity of someone who has been expecting you. And without speaking, they motion to follow. You fall into step beside them, following a narrow path deeper into the autumn woods. The trail winds between old trees and moss-covered stones, fallen leaves rustling beneath your feet. Here and there, late autumn sunlight spills across the path in pools of gold. As you walk, the forest grows quieter and the path narrows until you see a soft, silvery light through the trees ahead. The path curves and you come to an archway of intertwined branches, laden with the gifts of autumn, clusters of bright red and orange berries aglow among the leaves, the seed pods of every shape hanging from the branches. Some tightly close and others split open to reveal the seeds within. Milkweed fluff drifts lazily through the air, each silken thread catching the light, becoming luminous as it floats around you. Beyond the archway, the air glows with a soft clarity, like light striking the surface of water, and your guide turns to you. To pass through, you must bring an offering of something you wish to let go of, something you need help to transform because you know it no longer serves you. And you pause here, take your time, feel into your year. What has come up in the recent weeks as summer's energy has given way to autumn? It may be an old grief, an old story, a worn-out role or an identity that you've outgrown, a relationship that no longer feeds you, patterns of thinking that have gotten you nowhere but exhausted, a work life that's no longer nourishing, something you know needs to transform but you haven't quite known how. Let the one thing rise, be the one that you carry. When you see it clearly, hold it in your hands. Notice what form it takes as you hold it. Notice its weight, texture, color, even its scent. Notice what it feels like to hold something that you've carried so long. Your guide waits quietly beside you, and when you're ready, they turn toward the archway, and together you begin to walk. As you draw closer, you notice that the light beyond the intertwined branches is different from the autumn sunlight behind you. It's clearer somehow, luminous, as though the air itself has been washed clean. A faint vibration moves through the ground beneath your feet, and the sounds of the forest begin to recede. The rustling leaves, the distant chickadee, even the sound of your own footsteps grow softer. At the threshold, your guide pauses. You feel the coolness of air against your skin and the weight of the offering in your hands. Behind you is the world in which you have carried this, and before you is the place where it can become something else. Take a breath here, and when you're ready, step beneath the arch. And for a moment you feel the lichen and trailing vines brushing softly against you, and then the atmosphere changes and the air becomes cool and crystalline. Your breath feels spacious in your lungs. There's a faint ringing around you, like the lingering tone of a bell heard from far away. The path opens into a wide circular glade. The autumn forest surrounds it, but nothing grows within its boundaries except a low carpet of silver-green moss. The light here seems to come from everywhere at once, and at the center of the clearing someone is waiting. At the center stands an ancient, tall being, still and robed in white shot through with colors, with threads of gold that catch the flashing light. Their face is both young and impossibly old, holding the weightless gravity of infinite time. Beside them stands a great stone table, its surface polished like a mirror's shine, its edges carved with intricate symbols that seem to hum with a quiet power. And you know without being told that this being is responsible for the return of all things to their source, the keeper of the endings, the alchemy of essence, the one who transforms the fullness of the year into the seeds for what becomes next. You step forward and place your offering in their hands, and they receive it with a deep bow as you have entrusted them with a rare and sacred treasure, a human struggle. They place your offering on the stone table and with slow, deliberate movements gather a few objects from the surface, a candle, a small bowl of crystalline powder, a strip of gold leaf, a sprig of dried herbs, a shard of polished obsidian. They set these around your offering, circling it, murmuring and singing words that you don't understand. And as they work, you feel a subtle shift deep in your lungs, as if the tight weave of what you have carried is beginning to loosen. Take a slow breath and notice where you've been holding this in your body. Perhaps there's a place that feels tight or heavy, a place that's been bracing and gripping, protecting, or just carrying it for a long time. Just scan through your body and notice where you feel the weight. You don't need to make anything happen. Just breathe into that place and notice. As the spirit of metal continues their work, the threads that have held it together begin to unspool, and with each breath something loosens. A little more space around your heart, a softening in your chest and belly, shoulders dropping, jaw unclenching. Perhaps a deeper breath becomes possible without even trying. Feel what it's like for your body to no longer have to hold quite so tightly. Breath by breath, thread by thread, the old tensions begin to give way. What once felt solid begins to loosen its density and break down into smaller and smaller pieces. And when it's ready, you feel your body release it. It's nothing forced, nothing pushed away. Simply something that's been carried long enough, finally allowed to fall apart and return to the great cycle. And then the spirit of metal bends close and gently blows a long single breath over your offering. The breath shimmers and hangs in the air like frost crystals swirling in sunlight, and your offering begins to dissolve. The shape softens, the weight lifts, it melts into the spirals of light and fine iridescent dust. As you watch it change, notice what happens to your body now that you're no longer carrying it. Perhaps there's more room for your breath, more space in your chest, a sense of lightness, openness, or simply the quiet absence of something that was there before. The iridescent dust gathers in the air above the table, slowly spinning into something new. And before your eyes, it condenses into a small, luminous fruit, its skin warm and glowing softly, as though it holds the light of many sunsets. The spirit of metal lifts it with reverence and places it in your hands. This, they say, their voice like a chime of a struck bell, is what remains when all else falls away. The truest essence, the sweetness of life distilled. This is what will nourish you through the dark months and awaken to new life in the spring. The spirit of metal looks at you for a long moment, and then they say, "Come, bring the fruit and sit with me. Let us be together in presence and awareness of the oneness of all things." And they lead you to the edge of the glade where a bench has grown from the roots of an ancient tree. The roots twist and weave together, their surface smooth and polished by eons of beings who have sat here in meditation. And you sit beside the spirit of metal, the luminous fruit resting in your hands. And for a few moments neither of you speaks. And then they say, "Let yourself sink into your heart. Your mind will pop up and try to get your attention. Let it be like a television playing in another room. You might hear it, but you don't need to follow it. Bring your attention instead to your breath, to your body, to the sensations you feel right now. And beneath all of that, see if you can feel into the bodily sensation of being part of the oneness. Not as an idea, but as something your body already knows. The same breath moves through you as moves through the trees. The same earth that has become your body is beneath your feet. The same life moving through the forest is moving through you. There is nowhere that you end and creation begins. And any time the mind tries to grab your attention, let its thoughts be drowned in the love of creation. Come back to your breath, to your body, to the oneness that is already here. Let's sit with this for a few minutes. Slowly begin to feel the bench beneath you again, the smooth roots beneath your hands, the cool autumn air on your skin, the luminous fruit resting in your hand. You're sitting once again in the autumn glade beside the spirit of metal, and they turn toward you, and for a moment they simply look into your eyes and they say, "Now eat the fruit." You lift the fruit and you eat it, the sweetness filling your mouth, the warmth moving down your throat and into your chest, and you feel it spread through your body and into your belly, your limbs, your bones, and into every cell. And it comes with a quiet knowing that nothing is ever truly lost. It's transformed. Before you leave, the spirit of metal places one hand gently over your heart, and for a moment everything becomes quite still. You feel the sweetness that you received settling more deeply into you, no longer something held in your hand or tasted on your tongue, but something your body now knows. Something gathered, something kept. The spirit of metal removes their hand and bows. You bow in return. Your guide steps forward and turns toward the edge of the clearing, and together you begin walking back across the soft silver-green moss toward the archway, and with each step the faint crystalline ringing begins to fade. The ordinary sounds of the forest slowly return. First the stirring of leaves and the creak of branches moving in the breeze, and somewhere beyond the arch that familiar call of the chickadee. You reach the threshold and pause once more. Behind you, the clearing remains luminous and still. You may turn for one last look at the spirit of metal standing beside the great stone table. And then you step beneath the intertwined branches, the trailing lichen brushing against you once again. As your foot touches the leaf-covered path on the other side, the forest seems to receive you back. Sunlight feels warmer here. The colors are richer, the gold, the coppers, the crimsons against the clear blue autumn sky. You begin walking through the forest, but you're no longer carrying the thing you brought here. In its place is something quieter and more concentrated, the essence of what was lived, the sweetness of what remains. And you continue along the path, the air now carrying the faint fragrance of what you have received, rich, enduring, and alive. With every step, the extraordinary world of the clearing settles gently into the ordinary world around you until the two no longer feel entirely separate. Gradually, allow the forest itself to grow softer around you. The path beneath your feet begin to fade. The autumn colors become light. The sounds of the forest become the sounds of the room around you. Bringing your awareness back to your breath, the inhale, the exhale, feeling the weight of your body, feeling the ground beneath you. Notice the air on your skin. Take one more full, slow breath, and when you're ready, open your eyes, knowing that you carry the seed of sweetness within you, the essence and magic of all that has been lived and gathered and transformed, ready to nourish the next cycle of your life.